2. Can God have chosen Luther and Calvin to reform religion? God is holy. Accordingly, he could never have chosen Luther, Calvin, Henry VIII, or the like of them for the purpose of reforming the Church. The Protestant historian Cobbett remarks that Luther, Zwinglius, Calvin, etc. agreed on only one point of doctrine, and that was that all good works are useless, and certainly their lives prove that they followed the principle in earnest. What was Luther, in spite of his popular eloquence and the powerful temper of his mind, but a bad priest? And can there be anything more disgraceful? Calvin was also an ecclesiastic. Convicted of infamous crimes against nature, he was publicly branded by the executioner. Zwinglius, a curate of Eisleben, publicly avowed in the presence of his bishop that he had for many years yielded to his lust and would now marry a woman in order to render his position lawful before the people. All the saints of the Reformation are of this stamp. The spotless purity and evangelical meekness of Henry VIII is well known, and he is the reformer of England. That sensualist, a veritable barbe bleue, had 6 wives whose heads he cut off accordingly as he became tired of them. His daughter, Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen, carried out the work commenced by Henry VIII, and was no less renowned for the same fine qualities. The same block could receive the heads of the mistresses of the father as well as those of the paramours of the daughter. But Calvin deserves a little more notice. It is he who introduced Protestantism in France. Galiffe, a Protestant Calvinist, has portrayed him better than anyone else in his Notice généalogique, published in the very heart of Geneva in 1836. Quote, "That name famous for its criminality, raised to the standard of the most ferocious intolerance, of the grossest superstitions and most impious tenets. A terrible apostle from whose inquisition nothing escaped. During 1558 and 1559, he caused 114 judgments to be given in criminal matters," etc. Mr. Galiffe styles him a drinker of blood and supports all his assertions with the writings of Calvin himself and with proofs drawn from the public and authentic archives of Geneva. As for Luther, he was an apostate monk living in concubinage with an unfrocked nun, and he has been judged by Protestant writers with merited severity. His life after his apostasy was that of a libertine, entirely taken with the pleasures of the table and animal pleasures, so much so that it had become a proverb, in occasions of self-indulgence, to say, "Today we shall live à la Luther." Benedict Morgenstern, a Protestant writer, records this fact. The table talk of Luther can be still found in some libraries shelved among obscene books. It breathes such a cynicism that it is impossible to quote from them. Everyone knows that ignoble prayer written in Luther's own hand, the authenticity whereof has never been disputed, and whose conclusion runs thus: "Good drinking and good eating, behold the surest means of being happy." And they would make us believe that men of this stamp have been messengers sent by our Lord Jesus Christ to the Christians, charged with the mission of bringing the Church back to its primitive purity? Nonsense! You might then as well believe with the Turks that God is God and Mohammed is his prophet. Good sense ought to prevail over the historical falsehoods by which they have endeavored to rehabilitate those pretended reformers. The founder of the Catholic Church is our Lord Jesus Christ, and her apostles are St. Peter and St. Paul, St. John, and the other messengers of faith appointed by the founder. The founder of Protestantism is Luther and its apostles, Calvin, Zwinglius, and company. There's a choice for you.